The scene repeats itself daily in Cooperstown as fans exit the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum. "I wish I had more time to look around" is the most heard sentence at day's end. Now, fans can bring the museum home with Inside the Baseball Hall of Fame, a must-have for any fan's baseball library. Published by Simon & Schuster in conjunction with the Hall of Fame, the volume features more than 200 pages of artifacts and their stories in a behind-the-scenes look at baseball's sacred ground. Written by Hall of Fame staffers, Inside the Baseball Hall of Fame brings the national pastime's most memorable stories to life through the artifacts that were a part of history. Hall of Fame Senior Director of Exhibitions and Collections Eric Stroll and Director of Communications Craig Muter show us a few of the treasures that are illustrated in this memorable compilation.
We are down here in the Hall of Fame archive, and just spread out in front of us, Eric, are just a few of the treasures that are in the new book, Inside the Baseball Hall of Fame, by the Baseball Hall of Fame and Simon & Schuster. And you just get goosebumps looking at some of this. Let's talk first about this glove, because this is one of my favorite stories in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, sure, Craig. I mean, you can see we got a little smattering. This is just a taste, right? Because there's over 200 artifacts in this book of things that are both on display and things that are hidden down here in the collection and in the archive. This one here is the one that you pointed out, first of all. And this is a glove worn in 1945 by Pete Gray. Now, Pete Gray may not ring a bell to modern baseball fans, but Pete Gray certainly has a place in baseball history. And in 1945 with the St. Louis Browns, he played outfield for them. But the most impressive thing was that Pete Gray had only one arm. He lost his right arm in a truck accident when he was a kid. Even with only one arm, he made only 7 errors all year, which is a pretty impressive feat.
One of the first baseball stories I can remember reading as a kid was describing how Gray would catch the ball with one arm, where he would literally, he had his left hand, he would catch the ball, put the glove under his stump, throw the ball up in the air, catch it, and then throw the ball back into the infield. And you can see where he got some mileage out of this glove.
Yeah, absolutely. And needless to say, you know, it's hard enough to play Major League Baseball when you have all of your limbs at an active way. So for him to be able to play effectively at the Major League level with only one arm is really overcoming adversity in a major, major way, something that's really impressive.
A story we may never see repeated in Major League Baseball with an outfielder with one arm, that's for sure. And all these are such unique stories here on the table in front of us. Here's a man who we will never see the like, I'm sure, again, Mr. Tony Gwynn.
Yes, absolutely. This batting helmet belongs to Tony, one of the greatest hitters ever in the history of baseball. But it's not just any helmet that he wore. This is the helmet he wore when he attained his 3,000th hit in August of 1999. I'm not sure if you remember that time in August of 99, but it was an amazing time in baseball because we had 3 amazing events 3 consecutive days in a row. We had McGwire hit his 500th home run the day before this event. Then we had Tony Gwynn get 3,000 hits. And then the following day, Wade Boggs got his 3,000th hit, becoming the first player to ever do so with a home run. So 3 consecutive days in August of 99, and we had some amazing things go on.
And I think part of the neat thing about this book is you can read about some of these stories in the text, but just the photos too. You can see the autograph, the nicks on the helmet, those things, they all tell little stories, and it's just, it's so vibrant to see a piece like this.
Mm-hmm. And every piece has its own story, and we preserve all of those things as much as we can when we get an artifact into the collection.
Tell me about this jersey with U.S. on it. The first time I saw this in collection, I was shocked because I had no idea they were playing Olympic baseball in 1936.
Yeah, 1936. It's really amazing, and most people think of Olympic baseball, they think of the 1980s in terms of when they're most familiar with baseball having been introduced as an official medal sport. And then, obviously, we see that going into the 2008 Olympics, which was the final Olympics to have baseball. But baseball's a long and storied history in the Olympics. And as you noted, this jersey here and this ball and this ticket all come from that story. So this jersey was worn by Herman Goldberg. He was a catcher outfielder for the American squad that year in 1936 in Berlin. And the story of those Olympic Games, Americans sent a squad who were supposed to play a demonstration game against the Japanese. Herman Goldberg was one of 6 Jewish American athletes on the American squad, and I'm sure that his appearance there held a special sort of resonance for him based upon where he was and what was going on with culture and within Germany at that time. The game ended up being a split squad game because the Japanese never sent any teams to participate in the Olympics in 1936. So this game took place at night at Olympic Stadium between 2 American squads. One was called the Olympics, the other was called the Weltmeisters, which is world champions in German. And they played in front of an estimated 100,000 people at Olympic Stadium, which is one of the largest crowds probably to ever see a baseball game ever at any point in time. You know, so this jersey tells a story that is not necessarily a major league story, right? And that's what people think about first and foremost when they think about what we have here at the Hall of Fame. They think about their favorite teams, their favorite players, their favorite moments, whether it's World Series moments or going to a particular stadium, all that sort of thing. We preserve that here, we show that here, we display that here at the Hall of Fame.
And another example of baseball that's not Major League Baseball is this trade web ball here. And similar to the Herman Goldberg jersey, the Herman Goldberg jersey being from just before World War II, and this ball being from the September 11th attacks in 2001.
Yeah, this ball really resonates personally for me a lot. And as the story goes, Vin Navarro, who was a New York City fire battalion chief, was scouring through the rubble of the North Tower of the World Trade Center following that event, following 9/11, and he found this baseball in the rubble, and it was one of the very few items that was recognizable. But for him, and he was a player and he was a coach, and you know, he had a connection personally to baseball. To see this baseball in the rubble meant so much to him. It kind of gave him hope.
And it really is amazing. You know, this is a ball that was produced for fun. It's not a ball that was used in the Olympics or in the World Series, but it's become such a symbol of the country, not only our resiliency in the face of the 9/11 attacks, but how important baseball is to us as a symbol, as the national pastime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you couldn't have said it better, Craig. And I'd like to let you know a little bit about what exactly Vin Navarro said when he had located this ball. And he contacted TradeWeb immediately following the finding of this ball and found out that all of their employees had made it out of this tower safely. So that was a really kind of great part to this story. And he had sent them a letter, and in it he said that I am very grateful to see, based on your release, that all employees are accounted for. And being a baseball fan, coach, and player, this item has become a symbol of hope for me. And baseball is the American pastime, a great game from a great country. Once again, I am very happy to hear all of your employees are okay. Then when we asked him to donate the ball later on, he did send us a note as well, and basically summing up how he felt about the ball. And he said, the ball's nicked up, but it's intact and it came through. And I feel the same about New York City, the fire department, and the United States. We're banged up, we took a hit, but we came through. And I don't really know if very few items in our collection that could really sum up what baseball and America mean to each other than this artifact right here. Special story. Just one of the many contained in this book.
Exactly. Special story, and this book is so rich in detail like that. And it's a part of America, and we feel that every day in Cooperstown. No more so, though, when we see an artifact like this. Now, this absolutely one of my favorite, most recent artifacts, because everybody remembers David Freese's walk-off home run in Game 6 of the 2011 World Series, and we have his jersey. Well, I don't know we have 2/3 of his jersey.
So this is a beautiful, beautiful 2/3 of a jersey, right? I can safely say that we have over 40,000 three-dimensional artifacts in the collection, and countless jerseys. We have no other jersey in the collection that would be in the condition as this one is. We got the tag, the MLB logos kind of falling off the back. Obviously, the whole right arm and right front part of the jersey, as worn by Freese, is missing. And then if you you can see how dirty it was where he slid. Beautiful. Beautiful in a sense that, you know, here is a real artifact from a real important event that happened recently in baseball history. If you kind of go back to 2011 and the Cardinals were down in that Game 6 by a score of 7-4, I believe, going into the bottom of the 8th inning. And then in the 8th inning, they got a run. They were down a couple runs going into the 9th, and down to their last strike, and David Freese hit a triple to tie the game in the bottom of the 9th with 2 outs. Fast forward to the 10th inning. Couple home runs later, the Rangers take a 2-run lead back from the Cardinals. The Cards again facing one strike from World Series elimination, come back and tie the game again with a prominent play by Lance Berkman. That was in the bottom of the 10th. And then in the 11th, to lead off the bottom of the 11th inning, David Freese hit a home run over the center field wall. We had a staff member on site, of course, Brad Horn, our senior director for communication and education, was there, as he is every year for the World Series, to collect artifacts, and he went up straight away to David and asked if he would give this to us, and he immediately, well, I don't know if you could say he took it off because it was really just hanging from his body. He immediately gave it to Brad and said, this is the place where it deserves to be, and he was glad to send it.
Just the stories that it tells, you can almost feel him belly flopping into third with the dirt coming here, for his head first slide in the 9th. And then when his teammates literally ripped the jersey off his body in the 11th inning, right at the seam, just absolutely incredible. And it really shows you just the passion, not only the players, but the fans have for this game. I think this book captures a lot of that.
Oh, I think so, absolutely. In this book, you're going to see awesome baseball artifacts that go back 150 years. You're going to see things as recent as David Freese's jersey. You're going to see World Series winning moments. You're going to see famous moments from all sorts of baseball history. Milo Stewart, our photographer, did a phenomenal job doing these photographs, and our library staff wrote all of the captions for all of the artifacts that are contained herein. And Simon & Schuster did a tremendous job putting the book together. So we couldn't be more pleased, and we're really looking forward to come out.
A great companion piece for your trip to Cooperstown, or the perfect gift for your favorite fan. Inside the Baseball Hall of Fame is available now at national booksellers and at shop.baseballhall.org. Bring the home of baseball to your home today with Inside the Baseball Hall of Fame.